log in half a day and heck yeah, there's no music at the menu. That's okay because it's a demo and we're gonna try it out. As you know, the Steam Next Fest thing is happening and I'm like, let's give it a shot. Alex's Journey to the Grave. I have asked the developer if this is related to their previous title. So either it's a continuation, a remake, a remaster. I'm not sure, but it looks good. Warning, it's sad. Just in case you weren't aware, it's a little sad. All right, yeah, it's like music, sound. I'm assuming because it's a demo, you know, it doesn't have like the beginning, but that's fine. I hear the whooshing. So cat floof. My time is ticking away. Am I in the right spot? I'm in the right spot. Okay. I was like, I'm trying to make sure my face is out of the way. Yet day after day, week after week, I keep putting it off. I can't find it in me to actually take action. Oh no, I think we're starting off real sad. I can't find it in me to leave my comfortable, secure little world in here. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start it tomorrow. 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 I'm starting to feel like tomorrow might never come. There's a few ways this could go. Well, I can tell you right now that, the calendar over there doesn't look too great. Oh, I see some dirty dishes piled in the corner. Oh, with a fridge and a microwave. Oh yeah, you don't have to leave. Oh, dirty boxes. Okay. I open my eyes to stare up at the familiar dull ceiling above me, my head pounding away with a familiar dull headache. The ceiling blankly stares back at me, solid and unmoving. So, I'm awake. I have absolutely no idea what time it is, but I honestly couldn't care less. My mind is filled with turmoil, vague memories of a foreboding, claustrophobic dream, and I want nothing to do with it. Or anything else for that matter, especially the rapidly increasing pain in my skull. The only real desire I have is to put this reality on hold again. In other words, to get back to sleep as soon as physically possible. I screw my eyes shut, trying my hardest to will away reality and embrace my lingering fatigue. I think I'm depressed. Oh, sorry. It doesn't need to be, Despite my best efforts, I can't ignore the pain any longer. I reluctantly sit up and reach for the pills on my desk, the icy indoor air biting at my exposed skin. Sorry, I misread that word. After popping one into my mouth, I quickly pull myself back under the covers again. The heat of the blankets on my cooled skin reminds me of something like a warm, loving embrace. The medication won't take effect for a while now, but the comforting sensation alone is enough to renew some of my sleepiness. I close my eyes and relax, focusing my mind on it as best as I can. The pain and turmoil eventually fade to background noise in the darkness, just quiet enough to finally leave me some peace. My heart monitor is slipping off. Also, this looks a little high. Buzz buzz. My phone buzzes loudly next to my head, forcing me back to reality. Groggily, I rub my eyes. I'm not sure how long I slept after waking up the first time, or if even I fell asleep again at all, but the throbbing pain inside my skull has at least subsided a bit. Good day. Again. We're playing a cool visual novel real quick before we get back into Biomutant. I turn to eye the phone sitting on my desk. I want to ignore it, but I could tell by the vibration that the notification was a text message. I haven't received any for a while now, so I'm a bit curious to see who sent it. Even if there's no way I'll respond. I brave my arms out into the icy cold air again to pick up my phone and check who it is. Oh, it's from my old boss. To my surprise, a wave of disappointment washes over me. I don't understand what I have to be disappointed about. Was I hoping for it to be one of my friends? That even after ghosting them for so long, they'd still try to reach out one last time? You weren't even going to reply to any of them anyway, so why'd you get your hopes up? My disappointment flares up into anger, directed at nobody but myself. Is your ego really that fragile? This is completely self-inflicted. Stop. I sit up and take a deep breath, trying my best to hold back the anger rising within me. The turbulence in my chest starts to calm as I close my eyes and focus on breathing. Inhale. Exhale. This... You know what's interesting? It's spot on. Because I know when I was the sad cupcake, I was a rage muffin. Only manageable flits of anger remain when I eventually open my eyes again. I finally look back at my phone and unlock it to read the text. Hey Alex, just wanted to check in and make sure you're still doing okay. I'm super curious about what you've been up to, so send some pics my way if you have any. Oh, oh my gosh, oh. A sharp pang of guilt hits me as I read his words, a harsh reminder of exactly what I've been putting off. I quickly lock my phone and return to its place on the desk, as if that would help me unsee the message. It's way too cold in here. I soon lie down again myself, stuffing my arms back into the warm depths of my bedding once more, and I'm losing my voice. My body warms up again, but my mood remains sour, much like my voice, apparently. It isn't helped by the loud knock on my door just a few moments later. Hey Alex, you awake in there? A roommate. Give me the landlord's number. It's way too cold in here, man. There's no way I'm waking up another day in this. What a pain in the. For a moment, I nearly feel annoyed that I'm not close enough with my roommates to have their numbers in my phone, but I quickly remember all the reasons I'm thankful for it. Yeah, I'm up. Give me a second. My voice comes out hoarse as I raise it to make myself heard through the door. My throat is out of practice. I finally, reluctantly, drag myself fully out from under the blankets shielding me, and the cold quickly has me in goosebumps. It really is freezing in here. Sorry, I love using that button. I was mostly addressing myself. My roommate loudly pipes back at me through the door anyway. No, it's already October now, and that still hasn't turned on the heat. I hastily throw on the clothes left draped over my chair, then grab my phone. What do you mean they haven't turned on the heat? Where do you guys live? It's getting used today, man. I navigate to the landlord's number in my contacts before cracking open the door and thrusting it toward my roommate. Here, take a picture. He looks a bit startled at the sudden movement, but soon manages to get his phone out and take a picture of the number. Thanks, man. I'll make sure to get point across this time. Good luck with that. He just mumbles and back to me as he turns away to address his phone, pulling the door shut behind him. Silence finally falls back over my room. I shiver as the cold seeps in through my clothes. Just that little hint of a commotion between the text from my boss and the encounter with my roommate was almost enough for me to feel like I actually had something to do today. But that was it. There's absolutely nothing else left. I'm just stuck in here for good now, alone, hungry, and cold. Even after scarfing down a small meal and crawling back into bed to keep warm, the emptiness inside me doesn't go away. Okay, game, I feel like you're calling me out. Somehow the idea of getting up and going outside seems further away from me now than it ever has been before. Well, aren't we a chipper person? No, that's pretty much what depression be like. Oh. I'm sat at my desk now, finally able to shed my blankets after my roommate managed to get the heat turned on. I badly need an escape from my mind, but my usual online time wasters are doing absolutely nothing for me right now. I just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, paying no attention to whatever it is I'm looking at. For some reason, I can't shake this longing feeling I've been having since earlier today. A longing to be heard, to be seen, to be part of something. It eventually drives me to give up on trying to distract myself, and I start going through my old online chat rooms instead. Chat rooms? What year is this? I search for conversation to join, a person to talk to, anything to help alleviate this feeling. Some of the rooms are still active, and a few are even discussing topics that interest me. But even though I have things I want to say and ideas I want to contribute, I can't bring myself to engage with any of them. Maybe they mean more like forums, unless it's like AOL chat rooms. A pit of anxiety grows in my stomach as I read through the messages in each room. Even when they're just names on a screen, these are all real people. People with thoughts and emotions that get invested in the ones they spend their time with. People that might continue to think about me with pain in their hearts even long after I'm gone. That feels like such a stupid, arrogant, self-centered thought, but even though I know that I could easily just keep my distance, and even though I know that they'd probably never blame me for it, my fear of the pain I might cause them is still too much for me to bear. I'm about to give up on my search, feeling even worse than before I started, when a lone chatter in an inactive room catches my eye. I scroll to the start of their messages and start reading through. Hello? Okay. I'm way too much of a coward to do this in an active room, but I don't want to stay unseen either. Here, there's still a chance that someone will see this. There's still a chance that someone might hear me, and that they might even understand. Understand how hopeless and alone I feel, despite having no real reason to feel that way. And just how incredibly hard I've been trying to stay myself. Sorry, I don't usually swear like that. I'll try not to do it for the rest of this. Even though my life has only changed for the better over the past few years, I keep feeling worse and worse and worse every single day I wake up, and further away from all the people around me. I told myself it'd be different here, that a whole new world would open up for me and I'd finally be free to experience life again. But even though the faces around me have changed, I still can't see them the way I used to before. I swore to myself that I only let in those I could trust, but now I'm completely incapable of finding that trust. At some point I realized I didn't understand them, and now I can't stop doubting them. And as I doubt, and I doubt, and I doubt, as I feel worse and worse because of it, the distrust just spreads even more. I keep gaining more secrets that I need to keep, and now I can't even trust my own family anymore. I don't know why I've become like this. I hate it, I can't handle it, but I can't do anything about it. It makes me feel helpless, like I'm drowning but don't know how to swim. Like there's an evil dark mass that constantly grows inside me, feeding off my life force, constantly making me sick and eroding away at my sanity. Now the music's fine. Like I'm completely and utterly alone in this world. I know that I'm not really alone, in reality or in these feelings, but at this point, if I were to reach out to tell any of the people around me how I really feel, to genuinely ask them for help, no matter who I went to, it would all end up out in the open for all of society to see. And in the eyes of society, I just become another useless, broken person. Nothing but a hindrance to the world, to be looked down upon with nothing but pity or disgust. To be caged, controlled, drug up, and experimented on for my own good by our pathetic excuse for our mental health care system. I generally don't understand how that system could possibly help anyone, being the way that it is. I used to think we lived in a golden age of medicine, but after I've seen how often even regular doctors mess up, how little most of them even seem to care, how hard you have to fight for yourself just to get proper treatment, how am I supposed to trust psychologists who seem absolutely clueless in comparison? How am I supposed to fight so hard for myself when I have to lie to them, when I know they could lock me up at any minute just for admitting the truth? They don't even have a clue how the human brain really works. They don't have a clue how the drugs they prescribe work either. Fun fact, we are getting better with that. Like, I think certain blood tests can tell you how your body metabolizes certain, antidepressant medicine. So fun fact, it's not everywhere, but that is a thing. So, like, if you're someone like me who went through a lot of different ones and at different dosages, and your body be like, it's working, no it's not, it's working, no it's not, as an option that can help. Until you find one that your body is like, this is great, you're like, oh, now I can work on me. Oh, they affect chemicals in the brain, but how? Shrug, I don't know. They turn on receptors or off receptors. The only real way for them to find the right one is through trial and error. The list of side effects are just horrific. Some anti-anxiety medications list anxiety as a side effect. Yeah. And they force you to take them. Literally, physically force you. Okay, well, where are we now? I could go on forever. That whole system must be the thing that scares me the most about the way I feel. The thing that drives me the hardest to keep those feelings locked away within me as tightly as I can in the deepest depths of my heart. If I really am drowning, then I don't want the lifeguards to notice me. Ooh, what a line. That's good. Or maybe they're more like the shark circling at the scent of blood. I feel a bit proud of that one. It's not like I'm incapable of feeling positive emotions. In fact, I felt like a pretty positive, outgoing person for most of my life, and I don't think that person ever really went anywhere. But that just makes how lonely I am even more painful for me. And blood, that's another source of fear. When I'm at my worst, when it truly starts to feel like there's nothing else left to calm me down, cutting is the only thing left that can make me feel sane. I need like a big old disclaimer. Yeah, I'll probably put like a little disclaimer because I was like, it is a sad game. It touches on some stuff, and the Steam store page does mention it, but like, maybe something at the beginning. To be like, hey, remember, this is a sad game. Feeling the stinging pain, seeing my blood sweep out from within me and trickle down my skin, it makes me feel human again. It's also a calming coping mechanism. Like I'm getting a preview of how I should feel. A brief reprieve and a painful reminder of what could have been. It scares me. I could easily get caught. It's self-indulgence of the worst kind. It's completely against my ideals, but I honestly don't know if I could live without it anymore. The longer I try to abstain, the more I need it. the more my skin itches with desire for it. A shiver goes down my spine and all across my skin as I catch up to the most recent message. Flora's typing status flips on and off with uncertainty as I sit in a daze trying to come to terms with what I just read. Their exact situation is different, but everything they wrote about the way they feel, it all reminds me of myself. A version of me who nearly ran out of hope 4 years ago, The thought fills me with an overwhelming sense of duty, washing away any anxiety I had left about sending a message on my own. Nobody else in the world is seeing this right now. Nobody else is listening. I need to be the one that was there for them, just like the one who was there for me. I finally break my silence. Flora. Their typing status stops dead in its tracks, but a few seconds later, I receive a single character message back. Exclamation mark. I understand. You're right. You aren't the only one who feels this way. And it's okay that you do. I pause for a moment to see if Flora will type a response, but the typing status never reappears. I really hope I didn't scare them away. I'm not a professional or anything. I have no real confidence in my ability to help. But I can relate to Flora, and that might be enough to relieve some of the loneliness they're feeling right now. I know how hopeless it feels, the crushing dark emptiness, the lack of humanity that comes with being as lonely as you are now. I even know that feeling pain and seeing blood can help alleviate, at least temporarily. Because it worked for me too. But I also know that it's not the only thing that does. Can I tell you a story? This might end up turning into an incomprehensible ramble. I really hope I don't sound condescending. I really hope Flora is still here. Okay. Yes. Okay. When I was younger, I lived in a house full of people who wanted nothing to do with each other and went to school full of people who wanted nothing to do with me. None of my human interactions contained any traces of love. A great recipe for loneliness, right? Well, I didn't realize that at the time. I thought living that way was fairly normal. I had no good way to deal with it for a very long time. I broke down often, always full of anger and rage for the world that I didn't know where to direct, until I directed it at myself with the edge of a knife, like I'd seen and heard of others doing before. At first, it helped to calm me down, like I'm sure it does for you, but it lost its potency over time. I had to cut myself more and more just to get the same kind of relief, more cuts, more often, with more depth and more blood. And then one day, it just didn't work anymore. No matter what I tried, no matter what I did to myself, the pain and anger inside of me just wouldn't go away. It tore at my mind until I couldn't think straight anymore, until the only thought I had left was to escape. So I tried to escape. I like that when we get to this part, like where there's so much text, that it resets this. I like that, so you know who's typing. I went out into the night and started making my way up to the top of a nearby cliff, but I didn't end up finishing my journey alone. As I made my way up, I was joined by a cat, a very friendly cat. I stopped to give her one little pet at the bottom, and without me knowing, she followed me all the way up. She surprised me as I stood on the edge, right before the end, and started doing that stupid little cat slink around my legs and rubbing herself all over me. Thanks to her, I'm still here. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I spent the night up there giving her all the cuddles in the world. At some point, she came to rest on top of my chest, and I laid back to look up at the sky. A beautiful, moonless, starlit sky. And I felt human. After that, I'd go and visit her on top of the cliff every time I felt like I was going to break down. Her unconditional love and affection gave me enough small doses of humanity to stop cutting entirely. I eventually had to move away from that area, but I was finally able to make some friends in my new home. I think I told the story well, but I'm filled with anxiety. Flora never interjected a single time throughout the entire thing. Was this really what they needed to hear? Was it too long? Too personal? Does it even relate to them at all? I have no idea. What even was the moral of the story? That they should go find a cat to pet? Should I follow it up with some kind of advice, then? Is that too much? Actually, there was one thing they mentioned that I really do think I should address. If I had to give some kind of advice, it would be to look for a source of humanity other than cutting. If you do have people that care about you, even if you can't trust them enough to tell them everything, I think you can probably still ask them for help. You don't have to reveal all your deeper secrets just to feel their love. Just ask them for a hug, or some time together, whatever it is that you need. They'll probably be happy to oblige. I really hope that I'm right, that Flora still has people that truly care about them. They still have someone who'd gladly give them a hug. Otherwise, I'm just blundering, just being a condescending idiot and make it even worse. I would know that better than anyone. My heart beats with renewed anxiety when Flora's typing status finally pops back up. I'm choking up right now. Oh, Flora! When you came in, I felt like I'd been caught doing something horrible, even though I thought I was prepared for it. But I really liked your story. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. I really feel a lot better right now after hearing it. As for your advice, I think it was something that I really need to hear. I've been growing further and further away from my parents ever since I started trying to hide this from them. But now after hearing your story, it seems so obvious that I should have been doing the exact opposite. This entire time, even if I don't come clean with them. Hold on. Okay, making sure I didn't miss something. I'm gonna ask them for some hugs as soon as I can. Sorry, I was reading Frosty Tools. It's cute. Thank you again, Tombstone, honestly. It feels like I might just be thinking this because I want it to be true.
Lucius 8879 just resubscribed for 12 months.
Aww.
We have reached a full year of support, Tilde.
Aww. Thanks, Louis. It's crazy to think it's been a whole year. 1 whole year! Sad visual novel! It's really good, though. Feels like I might just be thinking this because I want it to be true. Not to mention, I'm sure you already saw the March schedule, so I'm like, we got games. I know Barth's games are on there, so I'm like, we gotta summon Barth and be like, Barth! But I do really feel like I have a new path to follow now. I feel like a massive weight has been lifted off my chest at Flora's response. I really did it. I really helped. I was the one who was there for someone. My life might have had at least a little bit of meaning after all. I'm glad I could help. Using my experience for something like this, it makes it feel like there was at least a little bit of meaning to those times after all. Flora's typing status flips on and off for a while, and I wait patiently for their next message. Hey, do you mind if I add you as a friend? I don't want to be a bother, but I really want to talk more with you in the future. You're the first person to ever relate to me like this. I'm sorry, I feel like I shouldn't have asked, but also like I'd regret it forever if I didn't. You can just pretend like I didn't ask that at all. The weight from before immediately presses back down on my chest. I made a mistake by sticking around this long already. There's no way I can do more than this. I can't become a person for them to rely on. But if I turn them down now, if I even hesitate to answer any longer than this, what are the consequences? It'd be the same as calling them worthless, a broken person. It would confirm all their anxieties. I've fallen into a trap of my own creation. Sure, I don't mind. It's like, I don't mind. Good job, buddy. I slumped down onto my bed, face first. Flora added me as a friend, said thanks again, then went to sleep. I checked her profile. Now that we're friends, I can see that she's a girl, about the same age as me, and even lives in the same city as me. The inactive chat room we were in is a local one for our area, after all. Even though it's not on my profile, she probably already assumes that I live here too. Even though I'm so scared of the risks, I want to talk to her more. I want to be there for her if she needs me again. I want to feel like my life has some kind of meaning again. I can do this without getting too close to her, without becoming her friend, right? I'll set up some rules for myself to avoid getting too close. I will not message her first. If she loses interest, perfect. I'm gone. I will not tell her my real name. She should just know me as Tombstone. I will always push her to find other friends. I can never be one of them. I will never meet her in person. That'd be passing the point of no return. I feel stupid. It's so early. I don't have anything interesting to talk about beyond sharing my experience with her. There's no way we'd even get close enough for any of this to become a problem. Bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, school? You guys just have famous statues on your lawn? Okay. Another day of classes, another day as the girl who's always alone. It's just been another day of the same, but thanks to the conversation I had yesterday, I'm still feeling a lot better than usual today. And I want to keep it that way. Today I'm going to get some hugs. Good on you. After getting home early, I break my usual habit of heading straight upstairs to my room and look for my parents instead. They'd usually still be at work around this time, but just my luck, they both took the day off for some appointments today. I find them sitting together in the dining room, both with a cup of coffee in their hands. My parents! They stop their conversation and look up at me as I walk in, seemingly surprised that I came to find them. Hi, Alex. It's nice to see you in person for once. Seems like it's our lucky day, getting a visit from our beautiful grown-up daughter. Oh no, your dad. He's hot. I do like his scruff. He does look nice. I live in the same house as them. They see me all the time. It makes it hard to talk with them when they act like this, but it's true that I really haven't spent as much time with them as I should have. Right now, they seem nice and chill. Right now. A mixture of guilt and embarrassment starts to sour my optimistic mood. Well, what's up? Or did you just feel like having some quality family time together? Like, I get she's probably joking. Like, oh, you're hanging out with us, you know. We're not too uncool for you. Like, I think that's the vibe the parents are coming from. But from the other side, it's like, oh God, they're making me feel guilty. It's like, that's not the intention. There's sarcasm in her voice stings a little, but I try to not let it get to me. Well, I just felt like I wanted a hug. Mom looks a bit surprised at my answer, but Dad just stands up with a big smile on his face. That we can do. Relief washes over me as he puts his arms out, and I do the same. Both of us coming in for the hug. Oh my God, it's really sweet. I close my eyes as his body completely enshrouds mine. He's still a lot bigger than me, but he's also being surprisingly gentle compared to the smothering hugs I used to get from him as a kid. It's a nice fatherly hug, and I feel assured of his love for me. Until he starts squeezing hard at the end. Ah, hey! Nah, he lets go after I start struggling and hit him with the hands around his side. Ah, I don't know. Ha 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 ha. Well, it was almost a good hug. It's, you know. I turned to Mom, who stood up while Dad was hugging me. Okay, come here. She pulls me into a hug that's much softer than the last. She's only just a bit taller than me, so I'm able to rest my head on her shoulder. You're hugging me. Right? Accidental guilt tripping is the worst. It's like they're just trying to bond. I close my eyes and enjoy the moment as she rubs my back. We're always here for you, okay, Alex? No matter how old you get, you can always let us know if anything is bothering you. Okay, so far so good. Supportive parents? I feel like I'm starting to melt away in her arms. It's the first time I've ever heard that from her. I guess it's always just been implied, but I don't know if I ever really believed it. It's been so long since I started hiding my problems from them. So long since I put up this facade I'm always hiding behind. But now, for the first time since I built it, I find myself thinking about ripping it down. I'm confident. Imagining the feeling of relief nearly brings me to tears, but I don't think I'm ready. You're gonna make me cry? The thought of letting them inside my mind, even just a little bit more than usual, hits me with a wave after wave of anxiety. If I take down the facade, everything will come out. Things far worse than they could possibly imagine. What would they do if they found out about the cutting? Take away my freedom? Search through all my things? Send me to the hospital? I could easily end up locked away in a psych ward. It terrifies me. I don't trust them to listen to me and respect my wishes to not get the system involved. They would try to do whatever they think is best for me, regardless of what I say, and I don't want them to feel bad about it either. I don't want to shatter the image of myself that I've worked so incredibly hard to build up for them. I don't want them to blame themselves for never seeing through it. So I'll keep up the facade, at least for now, but that doesn't stop me from coming to them for support, hugs or otherwise. But you can kind of write it out and blames the person accidental, requires confrontational. Right, yeah. I feel a bit better again after getting my thoughts in order. Mom gives me a light squeeze before finally letting go, and I try my best to leave the thoughts behind me and put a smile on my face before they see me again. I love you, Alex. I love you too, man. Dad suddenly pulls both of us back in for one last big hug. And I love the both of you. Hey, you're squishing the poor girl again. Sorry. How dare you make me almost cry. After a long group hug eventually ends, my head starts to clear up again. If it's like this, I don't have anything to worry about. I'll become the version of myself that I show them to them in no time. Thanks for the hugs. They really hit the spot. Come ask them for more often. I'll be ready. Only if you promise not to squeeze so hard. Alright. Even if it is the fun part, I won't squeeze as hard next time. The room falls silent and the moment seems to finish running its natural course. I make sure to come up with a reason to leave before my parents can start a new conversation. Right. I have a ton of homework I have to go get started on right now. Alright then, but don't work too hard. Come down and eat dinner with us later. It'll be ready at the usual time. Okay, I will. Alright, let's see. Aha! Here's our... What happened? I've made my escape. Admission acquired hugs was a success. I don't know how we went backwards, but look at the plants. These plants be dead. We got dead plants. What are these? Clothes in the bookshelf? Yeah, I think the dead plants would be the hint. Messy paint stuff. So this is where I'm seeing the sads, is the dead plants. You wrote a message to your girlfriend fully as a joke, sent it, read it back, instantly panicked because it could read as guilt tripping, so I instantly wrote a, wait, no, didn't mean that message, panic level 100. Luckily enough, girlfriend. Thank you. Yay, girlfriend. It's also nice when you've you can talk about it with the person where you're just like, oh, I realize what I said, and that is not my intention. I meant to be like, ha 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 ha, but I'm typing through a text so it can be seen as blah, 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 blah. So that's good. I felt good to get some long overdue hugs from my parents, but there's still one more hug I want. A hug from someone who knows. Someone that I can share the entire truth with, free from anxiety. Up until yesterday, I never had anyone like that in my life. Dun, dun. But now, I think I might. A boy the same age as me who probably lives nearby. I know not to take anything on the internet face value, but I can't let this chance slip by. I need to find out if he's truly the person that I hope he is. I smile at the thought as I open up a new chat window on my PC. Trips down! I start to feel a bit crestfallen as I realize he might not actually be around to talk with me. Hi, Flora. But to my delight, he messaged me back almost immediately. I got hugs from my parents today. To be honest, I was already feeling a lot better after our talk yesterday, but I think the hugs also helped a lot as well. It was such a good reminder of how much they love me. I think I can start to rely on them a lot more from now on, even if I don't share all my inner feelings with them. Right, that probably, super helps. They don't just, immediately jump to, accusations or, whatever. It's just no, let them explain. That's amazing. That's exactly what I was hoping for when I suggested it. Smiley emoji. Even after just 2 messages, the big differences in tone from last night's tombstone has already caught my interest. It makes sense given the difference in situation, but I'm suddenly even more intrigued to find out what he's actually like. Whoa, a smiley! So you don't always type with perfect grammar, huh? Yeah, I switch it up depending on how serious I'm being, I guess. I felt like I needed to make myself perfectly clear yesterday, so I didn't cut any corners. It did feel a bit weird, though, since your style is so much more casual. Sorry if it felt condescending or anything. Nah, it's okay. If anything, it made you seem even more like the voice of reason. My typing may seem super casual, but I'm actually kind of weirdly particular about it. I always use for, I'm, I've, I'll, etc., but not with other words. I don't know why, it just bothers me too much not to. Also, I use ... a lot, but usually only 2, because it's more efficient. I hate the triple dots. Hate's a strong word. I think I greatly dislike it because my father types like that. Be like, hey dad, how's it going? Good, ... And I'm like, what's going on? Nothing much, ... And I'm like, do you not want to talk to me? But it's just different generational typing. That's true, actually. I kind of wonder why. Isn't it a real thing? Maybe because it feels too brief compared to 3 dots, so you'd just be better off using a comma instead? This is not going the way I wanted it to. I struggle to come up with a way to get back on track, and anxiety starts to creep through me as the chat goes quiet. I accidentally steered the conversation in the wrong direction already, and now I'm lost. How do I steer it back to him? There's so many more things I want to ask. Sorry, I read a ton of books, so I got lost thinking about stuff like that sometimes. Is there something else you wanted to ask me about? Did he just read my mind? No, I had a long pause there. It only takes basic social skills to read a situation like this. Even though he made it so easy, I can't come up with anything to ask him about that doesn't seem too creepy or weird. This isn't coming to me easily like it used to. I'm way more out of practice than I thought. She's like, what do I write? I get up from my chair and throw myself down on the bed, pressing my face into a pillow to let out a shout of frustration. I just don't know. I don't know how to ask him anything. Even though I used to be so good at making friends, I hug the pillow tightly and roll onto my side to watch the computer screen, unmoving as it is. Is it because I've never really done it online before? Or is it just because it's been so long? Crap, it's already been ages since the last message. I better at least say something. I get up and sit back down at the computer, surprised to find Tombstone typing again. I guess you had to go AFK for a sec. But something cute for when you get back. I found a pic of the cat from back then. Look at her! Gorgeous. I can't help but smile at the sight of the cat's wise, smug little face, and the tension built up inside me immediately starts to relax. And Tombstone, whether intentionally or not, he's given the all clear for me to take some time to think. I lean back to take advantage of that time, and the rest of my frustration melts away when I eventually realize something. I'd already dropped my social defenses from the beginning with Tombstone, so why did I bother putting them back up? He already knows my deepest secrets, so what is there to be afraid of? All I have to do is be true to myself, like I've always wanted to be. I put my hands back on the keyboard with purpose. She's so cute, thanks for finding this. Yes. Also, sorry to be honest with you, I've actually been here the entire time. Tombstone typing status pops up but quickly disappears again as I continue typing myself. I got really worked up about trying to say the right thing there, but I realize now I was being a bit silly. I think I might have just gotten too used to always hiding how I feel when I talk to people, always needing to figure out what emotions I'm supposed to be having. So I wanted to ask you things, well, somehow hiding the fact that I want to learn more about you, that I want to get closer to you. My cheeks flush hot red as I realize what I just typed. I mean, that I want to become your friend. Not that something more would be completely impossible, though. I shouldn't have added that. Even with the conclusion I came to earlier, I can't help but start to feel nervous now. I love this. I love that she's like, oh God, I want to be your friend. But you know, if it happens, but not that it will happen. Like, it's perfect. I wait with bated breath for Tombstone's reply, his typing status flickering. Oh, come now, saying it like that is cheating. You almost made my heart skip a beat there. I can feel my face start to warm up again, not helped by another long pause before Tombstone finally sends his next message. Let's start a game then, to make it easier to ask each other things. How about we each get one question per day that the other person has to answer? What? Just one question per day? Yeah, but how about the game only ends when we both miss a day? You know what's funny? I too tried to do a game like this, but the guy never responded. I think it went on for like 2 days and then it stopped and I was like, okay, good enough for me. So we'll have to talk to each other at least a little bit every day and it won't ever feel awkward to send the first message. Right? Almost Emily is away vibes. That is a good idea. I feel almost giddy with excitement as I think about it. He came up with an idea like this all on his own. I'm really not a bother after all. And I'll get to talk to him every day as long as I keep it up. Okay, I'm in. But what happens if only one of us misses a day?
Now you will be with us forever.
Oh, hello. Again. I guess they just have to answer 2 questions the next day. The whole thing is just in good faith anyway, so not much else we can do if one of us decides to stop messaging. Right? Emily away is really good. Like, the first one's good, the second one's great, and the third one was amazing. Because it just like, oh, it's good. Fair enough. I still have a question for today, though, right? Yeah, go ahead and ask away. Wait. No. Actually, there is one more thing. Oh, okay. I won't tell you my real name unless we ever happen to meet in person. The surprise extra rule stings me a little, so there's still a barrier between us after all. But it's one that I think I can easily knock down in the future, so I try not to dwell on it. In fact, it makes deciding my questions quite a lot easier. Okay. In that case, do you live in the same city as me? The one that the chat room was for? Wow, straight to doxing me, huh? But yeah, I do. Rules are rules. Yes, I knew it. Play it cool. My question feels a bit wasted now. That chat room made it too obvious. Okay, I'll ask something I have no idea the answer to then. Do you have any pets? If so, send pics. What? We can add a stipulation like that? Ah, yeah, I guess. But it can be optional. Like, if you do have pets, you can just say yes and not give pics if you want. And no, I'm not sending you a picture of my house. Lol. Aw. Hey, also, you gonna answer? Oh, yeah, we don't have any pets, sadly. We did have a dog when I was really young, but he died of old age when I was around 11, I think. A big, friendly labradoodle called Norman. Not sure where I could find any pictures, though. Sorry. Rest in peace, Norman. He sounds like a very good boy. I really miss him sometimes. My parents and I are too busy to get another pet now, sadly. I'd love to get a cat if I could. Me too. I can't have one where I live, though. Someday. Time passes by at lightning speed as we chat, and I almost have a heart attack when I eventually glance over at the system clock on my computer. Oh, crap, I have to go. Right, because it's 15:56, so it's almost 4, and then 17:50, it's like, what? Oh my god, I gotta math real quick. 5, so it's almost 6. Yeah, it's a couple hours of talking. I promised to eat with my parents today. Go eat. I'll be thinking up a better question for tomorrow. See ya. I quickly close the chat window and make my way downstairs, a smile on my face. He's so nice. So she's doing great, but what about our other guy? How's the other Alex doing? Is he just like, cool? Our little question game has quickly become a new daily tradition for the both of us. Okay, for today's question, what do you do for a living? Ah, I see we've already figured out how to make the question as broad as possible. I worked at a bookstore up until recently, but right now I'm just living off my savings and looking for something new. Ah. With an answer like that, I need so many follow-up questions. Maybe it isn't actually the best idea to make the question so broad. Ah. My strategy might not work so well either then. I also didn't really think about needing follow-up questions. Actually, never mind. I can totally sneak a few more specifics in there. Ah, no, don't go full lawyer on me. Here we go. Do you or your family speak any languages other than English? You aren't actually as smart as you seem, huh, Tombstone? Damn it. I see it now too. Yes. Question answered. See you tomorrow. No! Oh, that's so funny. Real answer. Me and my dad only speak English, but my mom speaks Mandarin as well. She grew up here, but spoke it at home since her parents were from China. She's really rusty now, though, since they passed away before I was even born. Damn. Too bad you never got to meet them. I don't know, my mom seems to think it's for the best. She said she didn't want them controlling my life like they did hers. I kind of wish she taught me Mandarin sometimes, but I think she just wanted to leave that part of her life behind her. Today we'll remember to avoid yes or no questions, right? Yep, I learned my lesson yesterday. Okay, question time then. What are your hobbies? That's a good one. I think reading has always been my biggest hobby, especially when I worked at the bookstore and I could basically just read all day. I really love getting lost in stories in other worlds, so a lot of my other hobbies are kind of similar, I guess. Just nerdier and harder to talk about with most people. Like anime, manga, video games, etc. Yes! Whoa, is it that exciting? Yeah! It means you're like me. I never had anyone to talk about that stuff with before. Really? Even with people online? Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, honestly, I never really figured out how to make friends online. It's super weird as a girl sometimes, and I didn't really want to fake being a guy just to talk about anime. Yeah, that's fair. But hey, we can talk about as much as you want now. Yes, I definitely need your thoughts on some things. But ask your question for the day first. Okay, I'm just gonna throw this one back at you then. What other hobbies do you have? Blue fire? What is that? I'm assuming it's something I own. Blue fire. No, I don't want... They're like, it's a flame that burns at a high temperature. It's like, no, I'm talking about the game. I think I own it. Hold on. Doot, doot, doot. Embark on an extraordinary adventure through the parish world of Penumbra to explore unique temples filled with increasingly difficult 3D platforming challenges. Why? Why? Diverse enemies, quests, collectibles, and more. Slash daunting adversaries. Leap through deadly traps and master the art of movement. Why platforming? We'll give it a shot. Blue fire. You're going to be added to the very long list at the very end, which I think puts it in September, if I'm mathing correctly. It had to happen eventually, I guess. Other than anime and stuff, I guess art is the main one. Increasingly difficult. All the really difficult areas are fully optional. Main story itself is not that hard. Well, I'll see if I'm assuming I own it, but yeah, if it's not too bad, I'll do it. Get ready to break again, fingers. Remember your training from the messenger. My mom is a super good artist as well, so I spent a lot of time drawing and painting with her as a kid. I grew out of that after a while, but after getting into weeb stuff, it was the only matter of time before I started using it to draw anime characters instead. Of course. Alright, well then it's gonna be added to the list. Even though I've already opened up to you, and we just figured out that we both like anime, I still feel a bit anxious whenever I mention it. Hey, that's normal. I've yet to get over the same thing with people IRL. It's just what happens when you spend so long trying to hide something to fit in. I shouldn't feel that way with you, though. It's only been 3 days since we met. It'll definitely feel more natural with time. Some are way down the list. Way down the list. Hey, ask your question first today. I want to think about mine a little longer. And I don't want you to just reuse mine again. Ah, okay then. I did think of one for today, but it might not be that interesting. Just go for it. Alright. What was your furthest... Furthest? What was your furthest ever trip away from home like? Good wording today. Only slightly challenging. Okay, I'm glad it's not just me. My furthest trip must be when we went to Costa Rica as a family. It was a resort town somewhere on the west coast, I think. I was only around 11 or 12. I just remember having fun getting bowled over by big waves and eating a ton of free ice cream from the resort. Sounds like a lot of fun. Sorry, I don't have much more to share. Also, I feel even a bit more nervous about my question now. I think I'm learning about how someone grew up is a good way to get to know them, but I've been a bit scared to ask stuff like that since I know your childhood wasn't the happiest. Don't worry about it. You're not going to dig up any forgotten trauma or anything. Remembering how far I've come since then usually feels pretty good, actually. Yay, I'm glad to hear that. I think I came up with a question that should be a bit more neutral anyway. What was your hometown like? Oh. Maybe broad questions do work. I have so much I need to answer for this one. Yes. The town itself is beautiful. It's an old mining boom town, so a lot of the houses were constructed all haphazardly around winding roads in the outskirts. And the whole thing is nestled in a big valley in the foothills, so you can get super amazing views from all sides. The people there are the disappointing part. Even though the place was big enough to become a city at one point, they all act like they live in middle of nowhere Redneckville. It makes sense though, since the mining industry there died off while I was in middle school and most of the residents became dirt poor overnight. Anyone with a brain left as soon as they could, so the people left over were not exactly the best and brightest. Wow, so that's why you moved here then? Eventually, yeah. Wait, we're doing follow-up questions now? Oops, my bad. Wait. Shouldn't follow-ups be allowed, but just optional to answer? The rules are just that we have one question the other has to answer each day, right? You answered my questions about anime yesterday too. Okay, yeah, you're right. I guess it's hard to have a conversation with only one question per day anyway. Yay! So what did you mean by eventually then? As long as you still want to answer. Well, basically my mom did not have very much for a brain. She wasn't a minor, so she thought she'd keep her job just fine. She also wasn't smart enough to save up any money. When she realized she was going to lose her job anyway, our house had already lost all its value and we were basically trapped there. I worked at a gas station and somehow managed to keep my job, so since I was under 18, she started stealing the wages from my bank account. What? You would have helped out if she just asked though, right? Probably not. I hated her. Also, you played Dead Synchronicity, although I could not find it on your YouTube guest because not YouTube friendly. No, it's there. Let's see. Grab my phone real quick. Dead Synchronicity. I was like, should be there. But I know it's listed as mature. Let me see real quick. I thought it was good. It wasn't, because it's a point and click, like, time game, right? What is this? Oh. Auto ad slots. That's nice. Dead Synchronicity. I think that was from years ago. Yeah, it's from 2 years ago. Yeah, you might have to type in the whole thing. Dead Synchronicity. Tomorrow Comes Today. It's such a good game. Yeah, I liked it. It was definitely very trippy towards the end because I was like, wait, what are we doing? What's happening? What's going on? And then it just was like, surprise! And I was like, oh, plot. So from what I can remember from 2 years ago, I liked it. It was a good game. Nice point and click game. None of the puzzles were too crazy. They were like, doable. She never even told me she lost her job, by the way. I didn't know about it until I walked past her old empty office building. It wasn't even just my wages she stole. Eventually it was everything I'd been saving up to get away from her in the first place. I almost lost hope, met the cat for my store, then finally wised up and asked my boss to pay me in cash instead. I hid it out in the woods, but it didn't stop my mom from ripping up all my stuff looking for it anyway. Then at 18 I left and never looked back. Tombstone, sad face. I really want to give you a hug right now. Oh. As days pass and our understanding of each other grows, the questions we ask grow bolder as well. It's too freaking cold for October. Winter is December. Not here, it isn't. Maybe your answer today can help warm me up at least. I think I finally built up the courage to ask something I've wanted to ask for a while now. It's hard to word this as not a yes or no question. Okay, I think I got it actually. What has your love life been like? Geez, you were expecting a heartwarming answer to that? Or even any answer at all? Oh, come on, you're like, no, I can't say that actually. Hey, but surely you've been in love before? No, what were you gonna say? So that's your question for the day, is it? Sure. Well then, I was gonna say that you're one of the sweetest and most emotionally aware people I've ever met. So I asked about your love life because I thought you might describe how someone special to you made you feel. And I thought maybe hearing it from you could help me learn to feel that way too. Also, you played Martha is Dead and interested in getting it. Is it good? Because I love the first game, The Town of Light, and wondering how comparable it is. Ooh. Ooh. It's good. Martha is Dead is good. I'm sure you know about the scene that everyone talks about with that game. It is there, and it's kind of like, it's a little startling. And then, of course, it is World War II era, so that's like something to keep in mind. It's like, it's not super prevalent that it's World War II, but it's like, you know, it's like, oh, here there go the soldiers. Oh, where are they going? Who are they listening to? Somebody named something something? You know? But I liked it. It was really good. Also, The Town of Light was really good. So, similar themes, I guess, but in a different direction of, oh god. Yeah, I recommend it. You can't say stuff this cute. I was just answering the question. Now you answer yours. Okay, I'll answer properly. Sorry, I left caps on. Okay. Truthfully, I have had a girlfriend before, but we were only together for about a month. I know nothing, so the scene everyone talks about, I have no idea what it is, but I played Town of Light with all its intenseness, so I know what to expect. Okay. For Martha's Dead, I'm pretty sure you don't see anything, right? Where, you know, like Town of Light kind of like hint showed you. Martha doesn't really show you anything, except the one scene where, how do I say this? Violence, but not in that manner, but more of a face-off situation. You know, when you want to look through someone else's eyes, I guess that's the best way to describe it. Yeah, when you want to look through someone else's eyes, it's probably the best way to describe it. It's good. It's good. It's good. But yeah, it's got hints of stuff and twin drama, so yeah, it's good. Really? What happened? Well, my biggest mistake was just not getting to know her first. For a guy, it seems like the obvious choice to accept right away if a pretty girl wants to go out with you, right? Yeah, I can see that being the case. So yeah, pretty girl asked me out. I accepted it. Turned out her personality didn't match mine at all. She wasn't really interested in getting to know me or anything. I enjoyed. She just wanted me to party with her, pay for her, and pleasure her. Ooh. Sounds like the right girl for some guys I know, but yeah, it does not sound like the one for you. How did you even meet a girl like that? It was through mutual friends. I think she probably complained about her last ex to them, and they suggested me as an opposite type. She complained a lot about guys like him for cheating all the time. That was probably her biggest reason to try and finding someone different. Yeah, that sounds about right for her type of guy, lol. So you were the quiet bookstore guy that would never abandon her? The desperate, beaten-down bookstore nerd that would treat her like a queen and fulfill all of her whims is more like it. I think she thought just having sex with a guy like that would be more than enough to keep him happy to serve her, and that he didn't go partying and drinking all the time just because he didn't have a girl like her to do it with. Hey, if I know anything about girls like that, it's that she did at least find you attractive. They're usually way too shallow to look past looks. Well, yeah, like a work in progress, maybe. She really badly wanted me to start working out. Exercise? Oh, misery. Okay, fair, but uncalled for. Sorry, I don't actually exercise much either. So, girlfriend was a bust, but surely you've at least had a crush before, someone you've felt a special connection with from afar? I think I did a long time ago, in like middle school probably. There were definitely girls that I thought were cute, but it was so long ago I'm not sure whether it was just physical attraction or something more emotional as well. Sorry, I guess I don't really have any love experiences to share with you after all. Well, hey, at least we're in the same boat together. Even though not all are lighthearted, that understanding only grows further with each question. I do feel a bit guilty now about making you waste your question yesterday. You should go first today, and don't hold back if you want to ask something super personal like I did. Okay, yeah, there is one that has been itching at the back of my mind for a while now. Especially after your question yesterday inspired me on the right wording for it. Oh, okay, I'm glad I prompted you. I really want to know what it is now. Sorry if it's not a happy memory, though. It's okay, really, and you more than earn the right to ask me about stuff like that anyway after you shared so much of your past with me. Actually, there's a lot I haven't shared with you before that I'd really like to. So yeah, ask me stuff like that more often. I've been waiting. Flora, you don't have to wait until I prompt you to bring things up. I'm really sorry if the whole question game thing made it difficult. I'm here whenever you need to vent about anything. No, it's not recent or urgent or anything. I'd definitely tell you if I was feeling down. But thank you, I really appreciate that. Now ask your freaking question already. Okay, good. Here we go then. What has your social life been like? Whoa, you really got that spot on. I just copied your homework from yesterday. Yeah, but still, it covers everything so perfectly, I'm not even sure where to start. You basically want to know how I ended up so lonely, right? Yeah, you got me. You just seem so cheerful and been so easy to talk to all this time. I feel like there has to be some story behind it that I haven't heard yet. Mine was I worked the night shift, and I lived outside of the town. And I loved to play single-player games, so I only had single-player games. People were like, oh, you should play this. And I'm like, I don't have it. And some reason that you still have trouble making friends. Well, yes and yes. I'll just try to tell the whole story from the beginning. Briefly, if that's okay. Right, single-player games are the best. And it's okay, because now I have an awesome roommate, and we play co-op games together. Yeah, however is comfortable for you. Thanks. Okay, so, for some reason I was always super extrovert and social as a kid in elementary school, and I always felt like I needed to be the responsible one. I'd feel the need to make sure that all my friends were getting along with each other, that they were all having a good time, that they were all following the rules. Elementary school? God, this sounds so stressful already. I'd feel guilty whenever things went wrong, like I needed to make things right for everyone, and I was actually pretty good at getting my way back then. I had my own little punishments and rewards to dish out, and the other kids would even come to me for mediation sometimes. As me and my friends grew up, I obviously had to let go of that. Really? It sounded like you had the makings of a good leader going on there. Imagine a second grader trying to manage other second graders? Be a child. Go enjoy being a second grader. Play in the dirt. Eat a bug. Make a play. Be silly. I guess you're right, but I didn't really let go of it by choice. It just got harder as my classmates got older and more rebellious, and I was eventually forced to give it up. The problem was that I held on to the guilt. I kept feeling responsible for keeping my friends out of trouble. Right before starting high school, I gave in to that guilt one last time and ended up losing my entire friend group at once. Yes! Do Resident Evil! It was so much fun. What the heck were they even doing that you felt so guilty about? It was always just little things like swearing or something. I could usually just deal with the guilt and ignore it actually, but the final one I couldn't ignore is when one of my friends brought a bottle of alcohol to class. Well, that's quite a big deal for middle school. Yeah, I guess. Doesn't change the fact that I lost all my friends over it, though. Well, then they weren't your friends to begin with. Anyway, I didn't know how to handle my sudden, complete loneliness as a brand new high school student. I spent all day, every day, just thinking about how my life would be different if I just managed to let go of my guilt. So when an older girl showed some interest in me, I was all in. I was totally ready to follow her and try whatever she wanted me to. I smoked for the first time with her, drank for the first time with her. Are you actually a bit of a bad girl, Flora? No, that was very short-lived. Sorry, go on. I just somehow managed to trick myself into thinking I was having fun, but I know now that I really hated it the whole time. I'm not a prude snitch like I used to be either. That girl brought me to a party one day that changed my worldview forever. I came across a guy overdosing on drugs there, and for a moment I actually considered ignoring it to avoid losing a friend again. Thankfully, I realized that the situation was completely different and I called 911. The whole ordeal made me realize that I don't need to worry about the harmless actions of others just because they're against the rules, but that I absolutely need to stick to my own ideals and that I should choose my friends a lot more carefully. What the heck? It sounds like you had it all figured out then. But you still haven't found anyone else to become friends with since? Well, you? Ugh, I'd hit you right now if I could. Everyone in my high school hated me for years after that. So you saved a guy? And yeah, I'm no good at making online friends like you. I never had any practice at it. It's way too scary not being able to read their faces. Sorry, that came out a lot meaner than I meant to. I guess I'll forgive you. You're lucky I think so highly of you. Hey, I only said it because I think so highly of you. You figured out the online thing just fine with me, by the way. Because of how we met. I guess I just never had that fear with you. Although in the beginning I was definitely scared of messing up our conversation, scaring you off somehow. Anyway, I want to finish the story. It's pretty much exactly what I was venting about when we first met, but I was trying to keep it vague back then. Yeah, I kind of get the gist already, actually, but keep going. I guess I already filled in most of the gaps then. I misread that. But yeah, I spent the rest of my time in high school alone, just waiting for the day I could go to uni instead. Spending so much time like that, knowing that everyone you see hates your guts, and avoiding them accordingly, even after it stops. It's really hard to undo what that does to you. Especially when some of those same people are mixed right in with the new ones. They all just blend together into one big untrustworthy crowd, and it's impossible to approach anyone. Flora, it stopped a lot earlier than the end of high school. You called the ambulance for a student that was overdosing. The only one who hated you were a loud, shitty minority. The vast majority of people are much more reasonable, even as teens. Some might have resented you for a while, but most probably agreed with you from the start. And anyone with a brain would have forgiven you long, long before graduation. If I'm wrong, I'm sure you'd know. Tombstone. Yeah? Oh! You! Sorry. I'm really glad you don't scare away so easily. I'm sorry, Tombstone. This is another embarrassing one, but my curiosity has grown far too large to ignore it any longer. No, stop it with the warnings. My heart starts beating faster every time. Sorry, I'll just ask ASAP then. What do you look like? Send a pic to make it simple. Whoa, okay. We can skip if that's too much. No, it's fine actually. But before I answer, I'm gonna ask you the same question after this, so I'll send a picture if you agree to send one too. Agree. Okay, let me take one real quick and send from my phone. Okay, I'm super excited now. Eee! And it's a proof photo, so you can see the conversation in the background, like, see, it's you, what's up? You are a good-looking dude! Pretty sure I'm just average, but thanks. Above average. Handsome. Hug cute. Causing me to make typos. Okay, if you say so. I do. Now show me how cute you are too. Oh my god, they're flirting. Okay, I'm nervous as heck now, but it was so worth it. I also say I'm just average at best, so don't be too disappointed. No chance. Just let me get my phone. I'll take one like that as well. Aww, she looks like her mom. You are cute. Sorry, that was way too intense. I meant to say, you were cute. Oh my god, chill out. Was that your actual reaction? What? Yes? Oh, they're adorable. In the end, it seems like our meeting was inevitable after all. Tombstone. Hi, Flora. I can't take it anymore. Huh? What's wrong? I just really need to hug you. What? Don't scare me like that. Sorry, but I'm serious about this. Wait, like, for real? Yes, I'm actually serious. So, shush! Stop typing for a second. I want to explain a bit. I've come to realize that to me, a hug is like a way of directly sharing emotions with people. And the stress of negative emotions that you share can be dissipated with positive emotions from the other person. Yeah, I think that's called... What is it called? It's the chemical that releases in your brain when you hug someone for 30 seconds. It's a feel-good chemical, which is why you usually feel good after hugs that are very long. When I hug my parents, I can't share all my negative emotions. I even have to put in effort to hide them. They still give me positive emotions like love and affection, so it still helps. But they can't target the negative emotions I hide with anything specific like sympathy or reassurance, so they just fester inside me like they always have. I think if I hugged you, someone I've already shared all those emotions with and have no reason to hide from, it would help a lot better. Oxytocin? Is that what it's called? Oxytocin? What is the chemical that's released in your head when you hug someone for more than 30 seconds? Yeah, oxytocin. Yeah, when you hug someone for more than 30 seconds, the primary chemical released in your brain is oxytocin, often called the love hormone, or cuddle chemical, because it's associated with feelings of warmth, trust, and bonding. Let's see, and looking a little deeper into the neuroscience behind hugs, is also know that hugging releases oxytocin. This elevation oxytocin can support not only heart health, but it's also shown to create feelings of happiness, which is why anytime I would hug my peoples, I'd be like, counting in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna get to 35 seconds because we're gonna release the chemicals in our brain. Sorry, I have no clue if that made any sense. Just answer my question for the day. Will you meet up with me in real life? Yes. Jeez, I really want a hug now too. I haven't had enough in my life to get what you're talking about, but you definitely sold me on the idea of it. Oh my god, stop. It just makes me want to hug you even more when you say stuff like that. Okay, let's set it up then. My question for the day will be, when and where can we meet? Tomorrow if you're free in the afternoon. Well, okay, that's soon. It should work though. Can you get to the university somehow? Yeah, I have a car, and it's not that far away anyway. Let's meet on campus once my classes are over then. I'll show you where when I'm there tomorrow morning. I'm gonna hug the crap out of you. Oh my god, you're so beautiful. What if this game took a dark turn and it's like, JK, he's a serial killer? That'd be so sad. But I don't think that's the vibe. I smile at my reflection in the mirror, finally happy with my outfit for the day. Warm-ish, feminine, cute, and comfortable. I look like the person I want to be. I turned to look at my clock for the millionth time this morning, amused to see there's still over an hour left before I have to leave for class. Time has been passing slower than ever since last night, and even though I barely slept, I couldn't help but wake up super early this morning. I mean, I'm finally getting the hug today. The hug that's been on my mind every single day since I first met Tombstone just under a month ago. Sure, I have plenty of doubts about meeting some random guy I met on the internet, but those doubts have slowly been washing away one by one with every conversation we've had. He answers every question I ask promptly and with sincerity. He's just so genuine, his life's so mundane, that I can't even begin to think that he's been lying about any of it. I know he is who he says he is, a young guy around my age. We exchange pictures with our chat, and that background is proof of authenticity, and there's no way he could have faked that so fast. In fact, I was the one who suggested meeting up in the first place. I even feel like he was kind of reluctant about it. Actually, since he made the rule about not telling me his real name, I don't think he even mentioned it again at all. I wonder if that was to avoid making me feel uncomfortable? Or maybe he was just too shy to bring it up himself. I giggle at the thought. It's hard to imagine the open and sincere Tombstone I know being so shy, but it seems about right for the boy in the picture he sent me. It'd be really funny if they do meet and, years go by. Maybe they get married, start a family, and they, never tell each other their name. They're just always Flora and Tombstone to each other. They're like, I don't know her name. Either way, I'm really glad I had the courage to bring it up myself. I'll definitely treat him right today. I'll take him to my favorite cafe, buy him a nice hot drink, try my best to make him comfortable, and if he really is shy in real life, maybe I'll finally be able to tease him a little too. I grin and slap my cheeks as I realize I'm getting too carried away. Jeez, I gotta take it easy. I'm just way too excited about finally having someone I can be myself around. But I'm definitely gonna get that hug. Boom, boom. My question is, where does the demo end? Because I'm like, it seems like they're about to meet up, so would that not be the whole game, or is it gonna be the whole, fallout of, both of them trying to date each other while they both have mental health issues? I'm curious. I finally arrive at the meeting spot Flora sent me. Why does this music sound sad? I feel like we should be concerned. Why does the music sound not happy? An outdoor common area just outside her final class for the day, and sit down on one of the many vacant benches. Don't tell me she died. I've been cooped in my room for so long that the short trip over here felt like a huge ordeal. My car's battery was dead. I had to get gas. I had to remember how to drive through traffic. I had to figure out the layout of the campus. And even after all that, I still got here half an hour early. My sense of time is truly up. I haven't even met Flora yet, and I already feel wiped out. It's pathetic, but this is the busiest day I've had in probably months at this point. It doesn't help that the whole time I've been dragging myself through all the motions to get here, closer and closer to the moment I meet her. The tight knot of anxiety in my chest has only been growing tighter. I'm pathetic. Using a girl that feels indebted to me like a painkiller, a temporary distraction from my fate, just to inevitably drag her down with me in the end. But at this point, I know I'd feel even worse if I cut her off, if I left her alone again, confused and betrayed, wondering what she did wrong, wondering why she wasn't good enough. I think back to the rules I tried to set for myself after the first time I talked to her. That a girl has messaged me first every single day since we met. I never broke that rule even once, but she never noticed. She really must be that happy to talk to me every day. That's right, because he's like, I'm not going to message her first. The one about friends, though, I totally broke it. We're definitely friends now, and I never once pushed for her to find other friends after she told me how that went for her in the past. And the other two rules I'm breaking right now. I'm meeting up with her, and I'm going to tell her my name. I've already broken 3 out of 4 rules. I'm already messed up. The damage is already done. I have to take responsibility and tell her everything today. I've agonized over it for so long that I'm completely sure there's no better way, but the sense of relief I feel when I think about it terrifies me. Wait, is he gonna tell her that he's planning to exit early? I can't resist Flora, can I? She's cute, kind, caring, and shares a ton of my interests. She's so genuine, I can't help but feel like she's the only real human being on Earth. Even before, I've never had a friend I could be so open with, or a friend who'd be so open with me. She's become the one and only source of fresh air in my life, and she even wants to meet up with me just to give me a hug. So aren't I just kidding myself that this is for the best? Just giving myself an excuse to be selfish about this? Wouldn't it be better to just ghost her after all? Don't you ghost her! No matter how I think of it, I can't stand the idea, and it makes me hate myself even more. I fight the sudden, intense urge to hurt myself. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Shut up! You're already here, Alex. You've already decided what you're gonna do. You're gonna hug Flora, spend some time with her, and confess everything when the right moment comes up. And then you're gonna accept the outcome, whatever it is, and try your absolute best to make her happy, whatever that means you have to do. The guilt doesn't really go away, but my renewed conviction calms me down a bit. A sharp gust of wind easily cuts through my thin sweater, sending a shiver across my body. It seemed adequate for the cool autumn air earlier, but it's not nearly enough now that I've stopped moving. I guess sitting and stewing in my thoughts out in the cold for so long is just part of my punishment for becoming such a useless shut-in. Tombstone! I suddenly hear a name that I recognize from a voice that I don't, and confusion washes away my thoughts. You're early! Reality finally kicks in as I look up to see a very happy-looking girl running at me from a group of students leaving their class. Can you imagine just hearing somebody yell, Tombstone? I'd be like, who the fudge? I stand up to greet her, but before I can even say a word, she's already upon me. Oh, and I'm being hugged. She pulls herself in tight, burying her face in my chest as she latches on, and her sudden embrace nearly takes my breath away. I didn't tap that. It auto went. My mind suddenly a soupy mess. It takes a few seconds before I remember to wrap my own arms around her as well. She gives a sound of approval and another tight squeeze as I do, pressing herself even further against my body. And then she just stays like that. Her persistent embrace just keeps dragging on, and any doubts I had left fade away as her sincerity becomes undeniable. I start to notice all the pleasant sensations I'm experiencing instead, and they quickly move to the forefront of my mind. Chemicals. They're activating. Her arms wrapped snugly around my back. Her comforting body heat mixing in with mine. Her fragrant hair tickling at my neck. Her warm breath blowing through my shirt. Her soft chest pressed against my ribs. I've never felt so close to someone before, so completely and utterly accepted like this. It always felt like something that I wasn't allowed to have. Something that no one would ever truly be able to trust me with. My previous experience cemented that thought in my mind, and my current situation made me give up on it entirely. Oh, well, thank you. But this girl just is not letting it go. Very nice, thank you, thank you. Hope you enjoy. But this girl just is not letting go? But this girl is not letting go. Just is not letting go. Interesting. We met for the first time in person mere seconds ago, and she already trusts me enough to embrace me like this. It's starting to feel like I'm gonna melt away in her arms. I try to let go and create a natural end to the hug, but she just squeezes even more tightly than before, giving me no choice but to wrap my arms back around her once again. So cute. This is not just acceptance or trust, it's longing. I'm what Flora longs for. I've never felt anything like that before. I don't even know how to describe it. I think I'm about to start crying. We're just hugging. Okay. She finally lets go and steps back, revealing her beautiful smiling face. My appetite is sated, for now. The cold air bites at my body where hers warmed mine, and I feel like I've forgotten how to breathe. I'm stunned. It's hard to believe that this is the same lonely girl I met in an empty chat room just under a month ago. I rack my mind for something, anything to say before the moment drags on for too long. You're shorter than I thought you'd be. A look of playful offense flashes across her face as I wince in regret, but somehow her smile doesn't go anywhere. And you're taller. It felt like I was hugging a tree. She's so cute. I just want to hug her again. But despite the incredibly intimate hug we just shared, I can still feel the usual physical barrier between strangers around her. My mind remains just as blank as before as I grasp for the words to reply instead, and the awkward moment of silence I was trying to avoid soon hangs over us. I avert my gaze from hers. It's so much harder to do this in person. Flora's eyes catch mine again as I look back over at her, and to my dismay, her smile seems to widen. You're so much easier to read in person. She quickly leads us on before I have a chance to respond, exaggerating a shiver as the cold starts to tickle at her exposed shoulders. Brr. Come on, let's go. I'll treat you to something warm. The barrier I just imagined between us shatters before my eyes as she reaches her hand for mine, pulling me by the wrist until I'm walking alongside her. She lets go once our paces match, leaving me a bit closer to her than I feel like I should be, and looking over at me with a grin. My heart starts to race again. I can't help but wonder if I'm not really cut out for this. Sorry if I'm a bit awkward right now. I'm honestly way more nervous than I thought I'd be. My plea for mercy elicits another giggle from the girl encroaching on my personal space. Don't worry, it's way more fun this way. It's nice having the upper hand for once. Geez, she's really enjoying this. Flora takes me to a bright, trendy cafe right on the edge of campus, nodding her head with satisfaction as she leads me inside. Good, it's not too busy right now, we'll be able to sit down. She turns back to me with a hint of mischief in her eyes. Let's order first, then I think you have something you need to tell me. My real name. I'm well aware of how the rule I made became a promise instead. Yeah, I remember. The mischief fades and her smile turns sweet again as it widens. Good. I'm looking forward to it. She quickly moves on, pointing us in the direction of the cafe's menu. So, what are you gonna order? I feel a disturbance in my soul when I look up and see some of the prices on the chalked-in blackboard above the till. $7? $8? Since when did coffee prices approach double digits? I shake it off and just try to pick out something to order instead. The cafe basics on the menu are familiar, but I quickly get lost as I read down the list. I've at least heard of a macchiato before. What the hell is an affogato? A piccolo latte? A ristretto? Is it piccolo? I don't know. As if to neatly cap off my confusion, the final item on the menu is simply called magic. Maybe I should just get a cup of tea? Flora laughs at me as she pulls me into the line to order. I'm treating you as a thank you today, okay? So make sure to get something nice. I try to fight the smile growing across my face as I realize she can really just see right through me. Okay. I look back at the menu, but the expensive drinks are still just as much a mystery to me. I have to turn to Flora for help after all, and the amusement on her face is clear as she expectantly waits for me to speak up. Sorry, I don't have a clue what most of these drinks are. I'm not really a big fan of coffee. What can I order that isn't too bitter? Her smile reaches critical mass as I fall for the bait. Hot chocolate. I can't help but crack up along with her as she laughs out loud at her success. Oh, come on. No, I'm serious. It's actually really nice here. They make it with real chocolate and milk. It's great. Oh, that actually does sound good. The powder and hot water stuff is always a disappointment. I glance back at the menu to look for the hot chocolate, wincing when I see the price next to it. Real chocolate and milk, huh? I guess that's why it costs as much as a latte. But hey, at least it counts as something nice. Okay, I'm getting a hot chocolate then. What are you gonna get? Flora opens her mouth to say something, but quickly sprouts an uncontrollable grin as she stops herself. What? She turns away, hiding her face with a hand as she tries to stop herself from laughing again. What's so funny? Nothing, it's just... She can't keep a straight face and immediately has to stifle some more giggles in her hand. She eventually turns back to me after regaining most of her composure for good. Sorry, I just realized I should probably stop teasing you, and that was really funny to me for some reason. I was gonna say, I'm a big girl and not scared of coffee like you, but that was way too mean. I give her a light chop on the head. Yeah, right after you told me to get a hot chocolate. I don't even mind coffee that much. I just wanted something that wasn't too bitter. Getting defensive now, are we? Okay, now she's just asking for it. I bring my hand up to the height of my face, then make a show of lowering it down to her head. Big girl, huh? What's such a big girl doing all the way down there? Down here. The mischievous grin on her face just seems to grow even wider, so I start ruffling her hair. Hey, stop it! Sorry, I'm sorry! Next, please. The sound of the cashier calling out to us snaps me back to reality, and I hastily take my hands off Flora's head as I look up. The cashier is watching us with a slight grin of amusement on her face, the empty space between us and the till embarrassingly large. I feel myself flush a warm red as we start the walk of shame over to her, and a glance around the cafe confirms my sudden suspicion that some of the patrons are staring at us as well. Oh no. What can I get for you two today? I try to pretend like the ceiling is the most interesting thing I've ever seen. I want to hide behind Flora, but the big girl isn't nearly big enough for that. We'll just get a vanilla chai latte and a hot chocolate, both with regular milk. Thankfully, she seems mostly unfazed, ordering for both of us without a problem. I'm relieved that she's finally taking some mercy on me. Okay, that'll be $13.65. The broke soul inside me cries out for one last time as I look down to see Flora handing the cashier 15 whole dollars. You can just keep the change. Wait, was that a waver in her voice? The cashier smiles as she hands over the receipt. Thank you, your order will be in just a couple of minutes at the counter to your left. Enjoy the rest of your date. Yeah. Neither of us have the courage to correct her as we move over to the waiting area. Another awkward silence threatens to fall over us for a moment, until Flora suddenly slaps both her cheeks. Just BAM! Before I knew it, her smile was back like it would never even left. It was worth it. She makes a blade with her fingers and starts poking me in the ribs as she talks. At least, I got you to open up a bit. Hey, stop that. I'm open. You're so cute. I'm waiting for the turn. Because I'm like, what is he going to admit to her? Is he going to admit like, oh, I'm dying, so I plan to unalive myself? Or like, I'm planning to unalive myself? Like, what is he admitting to her? Seems like her morale is already back at full power. Hey, it just matters how we feel, right? It's silly to be so embarrassed over something like this. I shake off the rest of my own embarrassment at her words. Yeah, you're right. It's just something that we're both not really used to yet. Order up. I grab our drinks from the counter and Flora leads me over to her table for 2. She immediately looks across at me after we sit down, ignoring the latte placed in front of her. So, can we finally share our real names now? For the first time since our hug, a pang of real anxiety shoots through my body. I lift my cup for a sip as I reply in an attempt to mask it. Yeah, I'm Alex. What? No way. I'm Alex too. I almost choke and spill my hot chocolate as she exclaims her name excitedly. Really? Yeah, it must be something like destiny, right? I'm completely dumbfounded. Is this girl actually for real right now? Or maybe just a couple sets of unoriginal parents? Could be that too, I guess. Alex tries her best to take a sip of her latte, but her lips can't make it to the rim as they gravitate towards the shape of a smile. I can't help but laugh at the sight. Come on, are you serious? You look like you're about to crack up any moment now. The guilty-looking girl tries her best to wipe her face clean of emotion, but traces of a smile still shine through. I'm serious, I'm just happy about the coincidence. She pulls her bag up to the table and starts rummaging through it. I'll prove it to you right now. She quickly finds her wallet, then slips out a plastic ID card and places it down in front of me. Here. It really says her name is Alex. Huh. I slide the ID back over to her before I could read all the rest of her personal information. I'm sorry, I doubted you. Good, I forgive you. It's honestly a really crazy coincidence anyway. We both pause to take our first actual sip of our drinks, but I nearly spit mine out again as another funny thought passes through my mind. She rushes to put down her latte and interrupt me. Shut up, I definitely did not stalk you and forge that ID, so don't even say anything. What? That's rather self-incriminating, don't you think? No? She cracks and we both start laughing again. This is so sweet, it's such a sweet date. After we calm down a bit and start taking an actual moment to enjoy our drinks, I try to wrap my mind around it. Our name, Alex, really doesn't feel like it fits her at all. I've always thought of her as the epitome... I've always thought of it as the epitome of my mother's laziness, the most basic, common, unisex name you could possibly think of. But to her parents, and to the millions of other parents that also chose it, I guess it must have had something going on for it. Surely it wouldn't be so common otherwise. I catch the observant gaze of the girl in question as she lowers her cup and she beams at me from across the table. What are you thinking so deeply about over there, Alex? Just how weird it's gonna be to start calling you Alex. Alex? That feels so wrong. Flora fits you so much better. Of course it does. I chose it myself, you know. Although it's just a simple nickname to go by on the internet. Simple nickname or not, it's the name I met you with and know you by. Would you mind if I actually just kept calling you Flora, even in person? She tries to put on an exaggerated expression of thought as she thinks it over, but the smile is still impossible to wipe off her face. A finger is dramatically pointed in my direction, and I brace myself for some kind of rude accusation. Your nickname sucks. Alex fits you way better. So I'll agree to your request on 2 conditions. Firstly, you always have to let me call you Alex from now on, even online. And secondly, if you really want me to take something seriously, you do have to call me Alex as well. Okay, that's fair. Where it's like, hey, like if we're trying to be super serious and not joking. Did I take her home? I know where she lives now. The rest of my time with Flora passed by at lightning speed, and we ended up chatting away until the cafe closed for the day. It only really lasted until 5 p.m., but the early autumn sunset made it seem like we passed the whole evening away in there. This is it. I somehow got roped into driving her home, and now we have to say our farewells right in front of her house. Alex, now he knows where you live. You get dropped off in a different part of your neighborhood. Something that's maybe a 20-30 minute walking away distance from your house, just in case he's a serial killer. I don't really want her parents to see me. I'll just stay in the car. Thanks, Alex. No problem. That was a lot of fun. Something's bothering me. Flora gets out of the car, but pauses once she reaches the driver's side door. Hey, get out here. I need another hug. She says something that I can't quite make out through the door. I roll down the window to talk to her. What did you say? I said, get out here. She suddenly reaches in through the window, catching me by surprise and swinging the door wide open before I can stop her. But, hey! I unbuckle my seatbelt and get up to go after her. And she immediately catches me in a hug. She latches on just as tightly as before, speaking into my chest as she squeezes me. We have to meet up again soon, okay? I gingerly put my arms around her. Yeah, let's set something up in the chat later. I'll be looking forward to it. The hug doesn't last nearly as long as the last, but I feel the same warm imprint of her body left over on mine as she quickly heads back toward her house. We got the same oof, dun-dun music, which makes me think that he's realizing he didn't tell her his plan. Idiot, how useless is your conviction after all? She reaches the sidewalk and turns to wave goodbye. I wave back. Stop her. She reaches the side of her house and stops to open the gate. It shuts behind her. Say something! I hear the back door to her house being swung open. You still have time! Slam. A sharp pain pierces my chest as the door slams shut. The world around me changes completely as I'm left alone once again. I'm such a stupid, selfish bastard. I didn't tell her the one thing, the only thing that I absolutely needed to make sure she knew. I got swept away in the moment and completely forgot about it. And even though I remembered it, while I still had time, after seeing her so happy, I couldn't bring myself to say anything. I stew in a deep pit of self-hatred as I get back in my car. I'll give myself one more chance. If I can't come clean with her the next time we meet, it's over. Completely. Over. What? What is it? What is it? Ah! To be continued in Acts 2 to 6. Good. Good demo. It's got me hooked. I'm pretty sure I already have it wishlisted, but if you don't, make sure you go wishlist it yourself. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Do we know any fun facts? Anything you can tease, Doo-Hop? I like it. It's really good, because I'm just like, what is it? Oh, thank you for making the game with your team. It was really good. I'm just like, what is it? Because I'm like, all right, Acts 2 through 6. I'm assuming Act 2, he's probably going to tell her whatever it is. And then maybe 3 is them figuring it out. And then maybe 4 is like maybe the fallout of the decision. Like maybe he does it, maybe he doesn't do it. And then like 6 is like the conclusion or something. Wow. So good. Also, does this mean that they're going to find the cat? Does this mean he'll find the cat? Because he's like, the cat's back in my old town, but like, it's here. Do they get to see the kitty again? So cute. Well, thank you for making this game. It was lovely, and I highly recommend everyone go play the demo yourself and wishlist it so when it comes out, you can experience the full game. And with that, we will now go on to the next game. The cat will return! The best news. Best news. Hold on. I'm gonna help out chat real quick. Let me put this in the thingy. Journey to the grave. Yeah, see, based off that title, I'm thinking he's planning to, shoot himself. Which is fine. Alright. Wish list it here. I can spell wish list. Wish. Look. There. Go. Wish list. It's great. And yeah, there's no music at the menu, I'm sorry. So we're just gonna be right back and get started with Biomutant. 1 second.